Hey guys, Anthony, or Xmas here. I'm just doing a fun little stream actually today with my new webcam, and I wanted to rank the Avatar The Last Airbender episodes. It's actually my favorite Nicktoon, or actually probably my favorite Western cartoon as well. And yeah, I really wanted to do this just because I have a new webcam and I wanted to do something for YouTube. Happy 4th of July if you guys are watching on 4th of July. So yeah, just a couple things to note. This is, like I said earlier, this is definitely my favorite Nicktoon and probably Western cartoon as well. I like a lot of anime, so. Thing number two, I actually love all of the episodes for this show. There isn't a single episode that I think is bad, although there are a couple that are, mediocre sus. But just a couple. Most of them are at least like good or not too shabby. Not most of them. There's a few that are not too shabby, and most of them are good or like really, really good. Yeah. So with that being said, let's get underway. So the first episode is Boy in the Iceberg. Oh, here, actually, before I start, I'm going to get a list of all of them just to make sure I don't say their names wrong. Just to make sure I have all of them. Okay, cool. And a little Sonic Mini in the background. Okay, so first is Boy in the Iceberg. This is the first episode ever to launch on Nickelodeon. It was with a two-parter with, see, there it is, The Avatar Returns. So, I'm gonna try my best to look at them individually because most of the episodes that are in, like, multi-parts are kind of set up for the latter episode. So, like, for example, when we talk about the finale, the first two episodes are a lot of setup, so I kind of try to want to look at them as a whole also. But I guess for the sake of this ranking, we're going to have to look at them individually. So, it's no sweat. Anyway, Boy in the Iceberg. It's a really good opening. I think it's a very, very good first episode in terms of the series. It introduces our characters pretty well. The animation's really good, even though it's 2004. Introduces the characters well. Aang is, still, this is when he's at his youngest, so he's very, very immature, with the whole penguin sliding thing. And I really liked the introduction of all of our characters, Zuko, Katara, Sokka. The first episode also has a very unique intro, where it, talks about the war, and the fact that there is a war, and that Katara and Sokka were left at their tribe, and they had to look after their tribe, and you get to see how little their tribe is in comparison to what some of the things later on have in terms of villages. Their village was so small. So yeah, a really good first episode. Introduces all the characters well, including Zuko and Iroh, and ends on a decent cliffhanger too. Same with The Avatar Returns. It's a very good second part to what The Boy in the Iceberg brings to the table. Really good opening fight with Aang and Zuko, and Aang's little cleverness. Hey, I can take you guys, even with my hands tied behind my back, and then they just go silence. I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. By the way, this isn't scripted, so there's going to be a lot of rambling. But yeah, really good episode. It displays some really cool things about airbending. Fun fact: airbending actually cannot be seen by the human eye in that series. We can see it because they distinctively marked it blue, but the characters in the show can't see Aang's airbending, which I thought was really cool. I thought that was a really cool thing to add to the dynamic of the show. So, I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. Really good episode otherwise, Not much really else to say other than that it was a good second part to the first part. What else? Showed every element except Earth, so... Oh, and we get to see the Avatar state and Aang's initial, hey, why didn't you tell us that you were the Avatar? And he's like, because I never wanted to be. And that was a really cool way to end the show, or end the episode, and go into the premise of, well, according to legend, you have to learn all the elements, right? And he's like, yeah, that's what the monks told me. It was a really good segue to introduce us to this amazing world and cast of characters. So I really liked this two-parter. It was really good. Next we have the Southern Air Temple. So this is when we get to talk about Aang's past, and he's still like very ignorant towards the fact that he's probably the last airbender because the war has been going on for a century. So he's so excited to see the temple and show Sokka and Katara, where they're just like thinking to themselves, there's going to be nothing there, there's going to be remnants of the Fire Nation there, and he's going to be devastated. But it was really cool. We get to see what Airbender's life was like, and then we also got to see the introduction of Season 1's villain, which, I know some people consider Zuko to be the villain, but in reality the villain of Season 1, or Book 1, Water, was definitely Admiral Zhao. So it was really cool to see the Agni Kai between Zuko and Zhao, and we also get to see hints of that Zuko can show restraint and mercy to his opponents. He's not as ruthless as Zhao and the other firebenders, honorable, like Ira put it. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, good episode. And we get an introduction of Momo, and we also get to see more of the Avatar state, like what we saw in Season 2. So that was really dope. Kyoshi Island. Oh, and we also got to see the statues, and we get introduction to the Avatar cycle. So that was actually really cool too. Kyoshi Island. I really liked this episode. Not much to say about it, other than it's just like a standard, typical filler episode. It was the introduction of Suki, one of my favorite characters of the show, and it's actually really good character development for Sokka. Like, I know Aang and Katara have their own little thing that they talk about, how like Aang's like letting the attention get to his head, but this was really important for Sokka specifically because he learned that he has much more to learn in terms of fighting, and that it doesn't matter what gender you are. You could be a boy or a girl and still be a warrior. When Sokka said, like, I'm sorry for calling you a girl, that I should have just called you a warrior, that hit. That was really, really, really cool. I don't know, I just thought that line was really, really, really good. And it's just more world building for the entire show. Like, it was just a small little island dedicated to Avatar Kyoshi. I don't know, I thought it was dope. It was a really good episode. And showing Aang riding the stupid elephant koi and the Unagi, like, it was just, Aang's just so silly. Really good episode. One of my favorites. Next is King of Omashu, I think is what it's called. Yep, King of Omashu. It's another filler-ish episode. I say filler-ish because it's, Omashu is a very important city in the second season. It's good. I feel like the challenges were a little underwhelming except for the duel. Like, throwing the rock and the waterfall to get a lunch key, and then the flopsy trick was fun and neat, but at the end of the day, like, it didn't really do anything mind-blowing. I guess the whole point of this episode was to show us earthbending, because this is the first time we actually got to see earthbending in this show. So I thought that was really cool. But, yeah, Boomy's fun. It's just more world building. A lot of the world building episodes, I'm going to put in Not Too Shabby, not because, they're bad episodes, but because they're designed to... A lot of Season 1, or Book 1, for Avatar The Last Airbender is designed so that way you can watch it and not, like, feel like you're missing anything. Like, they were designed to be watched in one sitting, so that way Nickelodeon could re-air them and you would get a satisfying experience. It's kind of like a Monster of the Week kind of thing. So I thought that was really cool. They obviously didn't keep this going for Season 2, but you can still technically somewhat watch some episodes in isolated stories. Like they did in Book 1. So, but yeah, good episode. Good introduction to earthbending. Boomy's cool. Omashu's cool. Nothing more to say about that. Next we have The Imprisoned. The Imprisoned. Here's the thing. It was a cool idea to, again, this is more world building, and it showed off how brutal the Fire Nation could be, right? Like, it's incredible to show, like, how, like, evil these people really are, because, our only our only connection to the Fire Nation at this point is Zuko, Iroh, and Zhao. Those are the only 3 firebenders we really get to take a look at. So now that it's showing us other Fire Nation characters, while they're not very important, they're still there. Like the prison warden that's voiced by that one famous actor, which I thought was actually really funny. I didn't know about it. It was really cool to show like how evil the Fire Nation was and what they are doing to the kingdoms during the war. And I thought that essence of world building was cool, but I don't know. Katara's speech at the prison wasn't well done, in my opinion. I think she could have done a better job. Haru's whatever. It was cool to see his dad, break out of the prison with him and retake the village. Again, really good world building, and the cool tricks they did regarding the coal was nice. But other than that, just a solid episode. Not too shabby. So, the Winter Solstice Part 1. Yeah, not too shabby. It was cool seeing... It was a cool introduction to the spirit world. We got to see Avatar Roku. Or rather, like, the first part, because, it was just a statue. And then we got to see his animal guy, which was a dragon, which was really cool. Spirit world was nice, and it was a cool message about, protecting the environment and how all things are going to regrow. But it just wasn't anything special. It was just, it was good. Good setup for, Part 2, which was really good. Winter Solstice Part 2, oh my gosh, so good. It basically gives us the actual threat. Like, it's a war, but it's still at a standstill, even though the Fire Nation are in control somewhat to a decent extent. But it was a cool setup. You must master all 4 elements by the end of the summer. It's really good. Really good premise. Otherwise, Sozin's Comet will be used by Fire Lord Ozai to end the war. Really good. And showing some of the conflict that not all Fire Nation citizens or soldiers or sages are evil. We got to see our first good firebender. Shaiyu. That was really cool. I liked that a lot. And we got to see Avatar Roku in action. Like, oh, that was so good. And some of the action to get to the Crescent Island with Katara and Sokka on Appa. Oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned Appa at all this entire video. Appa's sick. But yeah, it was really, really cool. I liked it a lot. It's a good episode. Good premise. Waterbending Scroll. Not too shabby. It's a good, decent episode. The pirates were interesting at first, and then they just kind of became generic baddies who were obsessed with gold. I guess the thing to show is the importance of this episode is we got to see how skilled of a bender Aang really is. He picked up waterbending in like a day, just from watching Katara. Like, that's insane. But I guess that's the power of the Avatar in general, It was very, very important to show how good Aang was at waterbending. And you'll see that later on when we talk about the Firebending Master, Zhang in his episode. But yeah, it was solid. You get to see that Zuko took Katara's necklace. It was a good time. Nothing too crazy. Yeah. Good episode. Jet. Jet. Here, let me refresh the music really quick. I really like the song. Okay, Jet. So here's the thing with Jet. When I originally watched this show back when I was a kid, I thought Jet was cool. As a character, I thought Jet was sick. Upon rewatch, his whole, dynamic and his whole, the Fire Nation is evil, my family, it's such a cliched backstory of losing your parents and hating the villain or the nation that's responsible for the war. It's not as special of a story or character arc now that I've, grown up and watched many shows, anime, video games, media. It's just not that interesting of a concept. And everyone could see through his facade that, hey, this guy's kind of suspect. Maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't listen to him. And obviously Sokka saw it, which, not everybody. Oh yeah, I guess I could talk about Sokka really quick. So Sokka's supposed to be like set up as like the plan guy, like the guy who has all the ideas. And we finally got to see, like, you know, his instincts in play. We got to see, like, hey, he sees something that Aang and Katara don't. So I thought that was really cool. It was cool to see some not bending fights with Jet and his freedom fighters, but nothing too crazy. Good time. Good episode, but not too shabby. Not crazy. Worst episode in the series. Great Divide is the worst episode in the series. It's not even a question. When I get to the other episode that I'm putting in this category, it's still better than the Great Divide. Like, oh my gosh, the Great Divide is so mediocre in comparison to the rest of the series. When I talk about you really shouldn't skip any episode in this show because I don't think there's an episode that is mediocre enough to skip, this is the exception. This episode literally has no connection to anything else in the series. The Ember Iron players, this episode, even makes fun of it. That's how, like, mediocre it is. And it's one that's constantly shown on Nickelodeon because it's so isolated. So a lot of us as kids constantly saw it on the air, and it was so frustrating. Like, oh my gosh. So frustrating. Because nothing happens! Like, it's not even referenced in any other story. You just learn about two tribes that are fighting over nothing. And they put the sick with the elderly. My friend Elvis, who's a huge fan of the show also, pointed this out to me, and I'm just like, they put the sick with the elderly. Like, guys? Like, I don't know. It's just bad, mediocre episode. I can't even call it bad because it's still Avatar at the end of the day, but it's mediocre. And it's probably my least favorite episode in the show. No, it is my least favorite episode of the whole show. Very mediocre. The Storm. This is a top 10 episode. So good. It is so good. You can't even, like... Anybody who doesn't like this episode is clearly just out of their mind. It's so good. The backstories that we get to learn behind Aang and Zuko. Oh, so good, dude. It was so good. Love this episode. It was just paced very well. We get to learn about Zuko and why he's like that, why he's obsessed with the Avatar, and we actually get to feel empathy. Like it's not even just sympathy, it's empathy. Like, we all want our parents to love us, you know? And we got to learn why Aang didn't really want to be the Avatar. Well, rather, it's still a little bit of a shallow reason. You gotta remember that when people judge Aang as a character, he's 12, 13 the entire show. So, I don't know. Gotta give credit where credit is due. But, goated episode. Or not goated, like, really good episode. Like, really good. Blue Spirit. Oh, it's so good. But now I'm gonna put it in really amazing. Really good episode. It shows the dynamic between Aang and Zuko, how they could potentially be friends, you know? When Aang asks him that question, like, we all thought about it in our head, like, hey, they could be friends if they work together. It was just such a good episode. We got to see more Fire Nation stuff, how Zhao got promoted, the archers were really cool, the fight scenes were really cool, the escape, oh, it was really good. Sokka and Katara getting sick was whatever, it was just a plot device, but oh my gosh, it was so good. Really good episode. Fortune Teller, not too shabby. More world building. We didn't really get to use that much of the knowledge from that episode. It was just more like a good time to look into how Katara wants to know more about her future and how Aang has feelings for Katara. Their whole relationship is just mediocre in general, but still, like not mediocre in the sense that, like, I don't ship it, but like mediocre as in, like, it wasn't done well. The comics did their relationship much better. Like, it's not even a question. But we got to see Aang do some cool bending, and, you know, the premise was decent enough for an episode that if you watched it on TV, you wouldn't be offended by it. It was a good episode. Just not crazy. Yeah, that's about it. Bato, the Water Tribe, another decent episode. It was good. Nothing too crazy. The whole plot between Aang, Sokka, Katara was not done well. Like, how do I put this? Their whole point, the whole point of getting Aang to the North Pole is that he doesn't want to do it alone, and they know this, right? Like, they know that Aang doesn't want to be alone, and he wants his friends, or family in this instance, to go with him. I just didn't like how how awkward it was. Like, it was very clear that Aang was not included in Sokka, Bato, and Katara's, like, conversations about their, days back in the Southern Water Tribe, and it was just uncomfortable to watch. Like, it was just like, come on, guys, try to include Aang. And then Aang's whole, like, oh my gosh, this is the map to see their dad. I can't show them this. They'll definitely not pick me. Was selfish, and it was just really hard to empathize with Aang during that scenario. So, I don't know. It was a decent episode. The Sheer Snoo with June was really cool. The fight in the small village was really good. But, I don't know, just a kind of average episode. Not average, it was good. Just nothing crazy. Firebending Master Zhang Zhang. I think it's called the Deserter. Deserter. Really good episode. Shows off some of the disciplines behind firebending. Zhang Zhang as a character was just whatever, but it was cool to see how firebending is destructive, and you really do need to be patient in order to learn it. You learn in a later episode that firebending can also be seen as light, but it is what it is. It's a good episode. The dynamic between Zhao and Zhang Zhang was also really cool. How like Zhang Zhang taught Zhao and failed as a student because he showed no restraint, and you got to see that in Aang's fighting style, which is we'll call back to this later, but Aang likes to fight as like a trickster, kind of like use his opponent's movements against them, and is very reserved in how he likes to fight. He doesn't like to do any deadly blows. He just likes to like move people out of the way. Like that's how he fights. He's an airbender. He tries to solve all of his situations by being quick and clever. And Admiral Zhao was the opposite of that. So, good episode. Northern Air Temple, it was a good episode. It was an okay episode. The world building was really the most important part. Not much to say about it. Characters come back later, but giving the Fire Nation the war balloon was pretty scary. So, Northern Water Temple. So I used to thought this episode was crazy good, and it's still good, but on second viewings, it's kind of just like, like the whole plot of Pakku being so like it was really cool to see the culture behind the Northern Water Tribe, but it was very sexist, and nobody really wanted to see Pakku be a jerk to Katara and not train her because she's a woman. Like, I get that was the whole plot, but it was so stupid. And for it to be settled with, oh, my grandma didn't want to date you because your customs were so strict and enforcive, only for him to train Katara in the end. I don't know. It just wasn't a good enough message for the like nobody learned anything. It was just, oh yeah, my grandma didn't like you because of that. And then he trains her. Like, I don't know. I feel like Katara could have earned his respect in a different way. I just wish she would have showed it through fighting and not through, oh hey, my grandma doesn't love you because your customs ruined your life. Like, I don't know. Could have been better. Not even a question. Both of these episodes are really, 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 really good. The Siege of the North, Part 1, Part 2. Amazing Book 1 finale. Like, actually, no. I'm putting them up here. Nah. Maybe Part 2. Part 1 was really good setup. Sokka and Yue's story was pretty interesting. How she's engaged, but it's an arranged marriage, so she doesn't really want to end up with... I don't even remember that Water Tribe soldier's name. And then Aang's journey into the spirit world to find out the moon and ocean spirits were really cool. Zhao's plan to take out the moon and ocean spirits was really cool. I don't know. I really liked the episode. Really good. And then Part 2 was amazing. The fight scenes were really good. Is it goated? I think I'm going to leave it in really amazing. There are only like a couple episodes up here. Seeing the ocean spirit, La? Yeah, La is the ocean spirit. We merged with Aang's avatar state was really, really dope. It was a good episode. Liked it a lot. And this is when we got to find Iroh's true colors, you know? Like, Zuko's fight with Katara in Part 1 was really, really good, but Iroh being loyal to the world over the Fire Nation. This is when we got to see Iroh go against his own people for the safety of the world. Like, I thought that was really cool. Iroh is definitely a fan favorite character, and is most of the fans' favorite character in the show, just because of how he struggles to deal with, you know, him being Fire Nation, and, well, not really struggle, but him being Fire Nation and him serving the world just like the Avatar is really cool. He's a very wise character, and he's a great father figure to Zuko. But yeah, Zuko, and like Sokka said on Appa, they'll survive because Zuko never gives up. Like, I don't know, I thought that was really cool. It goes to show like how good of how determined Zuko is as a character, you know? It's really good. I like Zuko a lot. But yeah, that's book one. Like I said, a lot of it is world building. A lot of it is showing introductory basics to the elements, backstory for some of the characters. Really good. It's a really good show. All right, book two. Oh, and if I were to rank the books, it's definitely 2, 3, 1. Book one is definitely my least favorite, but not because it's bad, but it has some. I guess I shouldn't say some. A decent third of the show is a lot of world building that in the grand scheme of things is only good if you decide to connect the dots. But still really good. I love book one. Still, even though this episode exists, and they're all good. Like, Not Too Shabby isn't bad. It's like a 7 out of 10. Like, if Goated was a 10, Really Amazing is a 9, Good is 8, Not Too Shabby is a 7, and 7's still good. And then sus, you know. Do I want to change any of this? No, this all seems right. This is right. Yeah. All right, book two starts out pretty good. Just describing the Avatar state, like, that was really cool. It shows like it's time that he was able to learn about the Avatar state. You know, it was really good. Really, 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 really good. Let's see, what's next? Oh, is there anything else about this episode? Oh, Azula. Oh, Azula. How did I forget about Azula? So at the end of book one, we got to see Azula, like, I have a task for you. And then we get to see her interact with Zuko and Iroh, and we get to see her lightning bend, and we get to see Zuko and Iroh turn their back to the Fire Nation because they're now criminals in the eyes of the nation. That's really cool. Really good episode. I liked it a lot. Cave of Two Lovers. I really liked this episode as a kid. I really did, but looking back on it, it was just... Oh, God, Aang and Katara's relationship is just not demonstrated well here. It's demonstrated in another episode, which we will get to later. That's actually one of my favorites that a lot of the fandom memes on. But it's just a very episode. Like, it's not terrible, but... And the Badger Moles are cool. The Badger Moles were really fun to watch. And some of the back history between Omashu, or backstory for Omashu was really dope. But it's just a very average episode. Like, I don't know. Nothing crazy. Alright, what else? What's this one called? Return to Omashu, that's what it's called. Pretty good. Really good. This is when we get introduced to Mai and Ty Lee, Azula's friends. Bumi telling Aang, hey, you have to learn from an earthbender who's patient enough. Like, I thought that was really cool. That was really, really, really cool. Omashu as a city was kind of interesting that it was underneath the new Ozai. Nothing too crazy, but it was still a good episode. Like, I don't know, I liked it a lot. I forget what Zuko's plot line was. Oh yeah, Iroh and Zuko's plot with the random Earth Kingdom family was really cool because you get to see how there are other people injured by the Fire Nation that are willing to lend a help to refugees. That was really cool. Swamp. This episode does not hit. I know how important it is to show off, Toph in a flash, and it showed Sokka's strife with Yue, but man, this episode does not hit. It doesn't hit, dude. Doesn't hit. Such a mediocre episode. Like, oh my gosh, what were they thinking? Like I said, it's just like it's more world building, but it's just not interesting, man. It's just not interesting. Good introduction for the Swamp Benders, though. But not interesting. Avatar Day. More backstory for Kyoshi. Pretty cool. Other than that, just more world building. The Rough Rhinos were pretty cool to watch, but there were a couple of good humorous moments, but very episode. Good, but not crazy. It's better than these two. Blind Bandit, really good. Really, 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 really good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So crazy. The whole wrestling thing, and Toph's introduction was really good. I liked it a lot. The Boulder! Really good episode. Do I even have to say anything about this one? Zuko alone? Everybody talks about this episode. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I don't even have to, like, the fact that Zuko goes through this journey to display, like, some of his character traits. Oh my gosh. Everybody loves Zuko alone. Everybody. So good. The Chase. Oh, I guess I could talk about Zuko alone just a little bit more. His mom. His mom's a cool character. I forget her name. Ursa? Ursa, I think is her name. I don't think that's her name. What is her name? I don't want to be fraudulent. It is Ursa. Wow, I am a fraud. Really shows that she put more focus into Zuko than Azula as kids, but which stems from why Azula is such like a terrible human being. But yeah, Zuko Alone's a really good episode. The family who lost their son in the war, were not lost but got captured. Never give up without a fight. Like, oh my god, there's just so many cool things in that episode. Really shows Zuko's character. Super good. The Chase. Amazing episode. Good fight scenes. Shows the inner conflict between Katara, Toph, and the rest of the group. Amazing fight between all of them and Azula's trio of characters. And the ending fight scene was, again, just really good choreographed. And we get to see the conversation between Iroh and Toph. Really good episode. Really, really, really amazing episode. Earthbending Training, also really good. It displays like... No, actually, I'm going to put this in good. It displays like how Aang, again, like, is quick and clever and how this is his natural opposite. Really good episode. Good demonstration of how to become an Earthbender, too. Good episode. Library. Library is really good. Really good episode. Not much to say about it. Good, more world building. More Spirit World stuff. Well, not Spirit World, but Spirit stuff. Really good episode. And then we get to see the White Lotus, too. Introduction to them with... and back to the training episode. With Zuko and Iroh learning about the Four Nations and teaching Zuko how to redirect lightning. So good. But yeah. Library's a good episode. Leads into the Day of Black Sun later. And the desert was also really good. Losing Appa was rough. Like really, 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 really rough. Super rough. The end shot in the desert, like, hurts so bad. Like, it hurts so much. Ugh. When Aang sheds a tear and Katara has to pull him down, like, oh my gosh, so good. Serpent's Pass and The Drill. I'm gonna put them together. They're both really good. The character dynamic showing that Sokka was still afraid to let go of Yue from what happened in Siege of the North Part 2. That's really good. The Serpent was an interesting monster design. Aang still showing inner turmoil, losing Appa, but then meeting the family to suddenly realize that he's with the people he loves. Like, oh, good character dynamic and cool episode. And Suki's here. Suki is one of my favorite characters, and the fact that she's back, so good, so good. And she finally got what Sokka got to, like, they got to talk about their relationship together. That was somewhat established in Kyoshi Island. It was really funny. I liked some of the character moments. And the drill was really good. There's not really much to say about the drill other than that it was a cool fight sequence and, just sequence in general. I guess the other thing you could talk about with these two episodes is Zuko and Iroh's trek to Ba Sing Se, and he ran into the Freedom Fighters. It was good. I know not a lot of people liked that sequence, but I thought it was good. The Secrets of Ba Sing Se. Yeah, it was good. It's really good. Introduction to Dai Li, Long Fang. Really good episode. And he winks or hints at the fact that he knows where his bison might be. Thought it was really cool. Tales of Ba Sing Se. Again, what can I even say? It's an amazing episode, dude. Shows it's more world building, and it shows everything that happens in the city. Like, this is the most like slice of life type episode, you know? So that was really cool. Yeah, again, it's just really good. I think it's a goated episode. Tail of Iroh hits every single time, dude. Like, every single time. Sorry, I'm just looking at my phone. But yeah, goated episode. Love it to death. Appa's Lost Days. It's really good. This shows like Appa as a character. Like, we know that Appa's just, Aang's animal companion, but this shows that Appa is actually a character, and that, to me, is very, very important. Really good. Really good episode. Lake Laogai. Yeah, it's a good episode. I liked it. Liked it a lot. Jet's death. That hit different. It was super, super sad to see him go. Yeah, it's just a really good episode. When Appa got to embrace with the rest of the gang, so good. Like, so good. So good. What's next? Earth King? Oh, wait, no. To add on to Lake Laogai, we get to see Zuko's transformation. Because this whole time, he's been looking for the Avatar, and he finally finds the Avatar's bison, but the speech that Iroh gives, and then what? You never think things through. Really good. So good. This is when we get to see Zuko's transformation into the beautiful prince that Iroh thought he always was. So good. Yeah, the whole Ba Sing Se arc in general was just really good. It's probably a lot of people's favorite setting in the show. Earth King was okay. It's a good episode. Nothing too crazy. Introduces it ends Long Fang's legacy underneath the Dai Li. Shows that. Oh, the Guru. That's right. The Guru gives the note to Appa, so that way Aang can learn about the Avatar state. It's just a good episode. Shattering the glass that was that the Earth King saw over his city, but now he understands that they're at war. Really good. Also shows that Azula and her trio infiltrated the city. Good episode. And Zuko's transformation. These two. So good. This is my favorite episode of the entire series. Crossroads of Destiny. them going over the chakras was really, really, really good, and how Aang had to let go of his his attachment to the world in order to master the Avatar state. I thought that was awesome. Thought that was really, really cool. Going over each of the chakras was really cool. I found out when I went to St. Augustine with my ex, we learned about the chakras and how they're based off of an Indian culture. Like, I thought that was really cool. Katara stayed in the city so that way she could plan the invasion, and then gets caught by the Kyoshi warriors. And then Sokka got to reunite with his dad. I thought that was really awesome too. Like I said, just a really cool concept. And Crossroads of Destiny is just godlike. It's just godlike. There's nothing more to say about it. The fights are good. The plot's good. Iroh's advice to Aang about him choosing power, happiness, and love over power and perfection, like, so good. So good. And yeah, book 2 is probably my favorite. It's really, really amazing. Not much to say other than it's probably the peak of the series. So good. And then book 3. So here's the thing with book 3. Book 3 has a lot of filler. Like, these first episodes before Day of Black Sun, a lot of it is filler. And I understand that. But it's not bad. It's still good Avatar, but I understand that it's flawed. It's very, very flawed. Yeah. It's flawed. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. It's very flawed. And while as good as these last episodes are, these beginning ones hold them back a little bit. Just a little. But, you know, it's still a good Avatar. It's still a good show. So let's get into it. I think this is called The Awakening? Yep, The Awakening. Really good. Really, really good episode. It was a good opening to Season 3. Or Book 3. Not much to say about it. It set the stage really well. Liked it a lot. This is my only hot take. I love the headband a lot because it's the only time that I liked Aang and Katara's relationship. It's cringe in almost every other episode. They just did not handle it well. But I liked it a lot. The whole Footloose ripoff is a little sus, and I understand that. But I still really liked the episode, you know? Still really liked the episode. Painted Lady. Yeah. Better than The Swamp, but this episode's mediocre. But we didn't need this. Oh, and I guess the other thing to talk about with the headband, the whole Fire Nation school was really cool. I liked the world building in that a lot. And I like to dance, so bias. I heavily bias. I know this episode should be down here, or even down here, but my bias puts it up there. Anyway, back to the Painted Lady. Mediocre episode. It didn't need to be here. Just some world building that we didn't really need. We already know that the Fire Nation doesn't treat its citizens the best in every area. Mediocre episode. Sokka's training with the Sword Master was really good. I liked it a lot. Yeah. It was just really good character development for Sokka. I guess the other thing to talk about with these episodes is that we get to see that Zuko's, like, doubting himself and, you know, still thinks Aang's alive. We get to learn about Azula's, like, hidden agenda about why she lied to the Fire Lord. Oh, and we get to see the Fire Lord. That's really cool, too. The beach. It's a good episode. Really, really amazing episode. Good world building, and then we get to see the two, like, squads. Like, the plot, the plot development or the character development for those four specifically are what make the episode really good. Team Avatar's shtick is whatever, but these four, so good. And yeah, Sparky Boom Man is funny too. Avatar Roku's episode was really good. I think the more like important part was him learning about his grandfather's Zuko specifically. Really good. I liked it a lot. It was good. Good storytelling for both Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Sozin. It was good. Mediocre episode. Very, very, very mediocre. Ooh, Persona music. I didn't think it was very good, to be quite honest. I hate my friend Miguel so much. So much, dude. Miguel, if you ever watch this, heck off. Love you though, Miguel. Anyway, back to this. I think this episode's called The Runaway. The plot between Katara and Toph was just Like, I didn't think it was anything special. There was more they could have done with this, but it just ended up being mediocre. Like, I don't know. I don't like this episode that much. Why is my dashboard messing up? Hang on. Let me fix it. There we go. Yeah, it was just a very mediocre episode, you know? Puppet Master's really good. I liked the Puppet Master a lot. The whole bloodbending scenario with Katara is really good. That's it. It was a good Halloween episode. Day of Black Sun's really good. Can't really say much more about it. I enjoyed it. The invasion was really cool. Azula's trick at the end with Suki to stall for time was really cool. The invasion plan in general was really cool. Sokka's invasion plan was really cool. And we get to see Zuko finally come to sense of who he is because of the war meeting. Oh, that's the Day of Black Sun. This is Nightmares and Daydreams, and bottom 5 episode. These are my least 5 favorite episodes, by the way. These are all the ones that I just don't think hit. I think they're very Very, very But yeah, Nightmares and Daydreams is just whatever. It's just filler to stretch for time. Nothing more to say about it other than that. Western Air Temple. I think is really good. I like the Western Air Temple a lot. This is Zuko's character development of how he wants to join the group to teach Aang firebending. I like it a lot. Good episode. Good episode's good. Not much to say. It's really good. Which one was this? This was the Sun Warriors episode. It was called something specific. Firebending Masters. Firebending Masters was good. We get to learn about the origins of firebending. How about the dragons are still alive? I'm streaming this, but there's not many people watching. That's okay. For those of you who are watching, thank you for tuning in. Firebending Masters was good. I liked it a lot. Not much to say. Aang finally gets to learn firebending the proper way. That's about it. It was a cool Aang and Zuko dynamic episode. Boiling Rock is really good. It's really, really good. It was a fun 2-parter episode. Sokka gets to reunite with Suki. The whole prison break scenario was just really, really fun. I liked it a lot. I know not a lot of people liked the Boiling Rock Part 1, Part 2, but it was really good. Southern Raiders. Nah. I think I'd put it here. It was really amazing. Katara gets to face her demon with Zuko. Really, really, really good. Amazing episode. Ember Island Players was really good. Yeah. Really good. It was just a fun parody, you know. Not much to say other than it was just really good. Yeah, it was funny. A couple of interesting moments between the characters because they were facing like themselves, but it was good. And here's the finale. Okay, so here's the thing with the finale. I know a lot of people don't like it, and I understand why. I understand that. I get why they don't like it, you know? But like, I get it. Like, not every, like... And let me tell you why. So, it's this episode, and this episode, specifically these two. So, the reason why people don't like it is because they think Aang gets out of his dilemma too easily. It's a good dilemma. Like, it's a really good dilemma. But he gets out of it because of energy bending. And I get that people don't think that. It's a good enough plot device. Not everybody likes it. I think it's good. You actually get to see energy bending hinted in this episode of all things, where he like connects to the tree and finds Appa. Like, it's shambolic. Like, I get it. Not everybody likes energy bending. It's just it comes off as like a get out of jail free card for Aang, and I get that, but I like it. And the fight between Aang and Ozai again isn't the best choreographed wise, but the fight between Azula and Zuko is godlike. And I don't know, I think the finale is really good. I like it personally. But yeah, that's my tier list. If I were to order anything, there's not really that much to order. So, yeah, it was really good. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. Oh, actually, yeah, I'm gonna stream a little Persona. So yeah, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break and switch over to Persona. So this is my tier list for the Avatar series. I love it a lot. If I were to give a ratings, I'd give Book 2 a 9, Book 3 an 8, and then Book 1 also an 8. Maybe Book 3 could be a 9 if it weren't for these 3 episodes. These 3 episodes bring it down a lot. I love the series a lot, but upon my second viewing, this is like my 6th viewing of the entire show, it has flaws. And I'm willing to admit that. It's just a Nickelodeon show. But yeah, I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I'll save this. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to take a little break. Oh, that's a test. Bye, guys.